You can reclaim your power. You can ignite your vision. You can sustain yourself with rest, and you can excavate what no longer serves. But you cannot rise alone. Liberation is collective. The fifth pillar of the Rise Up method is uplift, lifting each other up in solidarity. When one of us rises, we all rise, and we reach back. When one of us stumbles, community catches us. This is how we build movements, through collective care and community. Hi, I'm Claire, and this is Ascend. Today we're talking about uplift, how we hold each other, how we rise together. Let's begin. I record this podcast on the ancestral lands and unceded territories of the Anishinaabe and Miwok peoples, who have always been the original caretakers of this place now called Sacramento. This month is Native American Heritage Month and an offering to honor and acknowledge rich cultural traditions and ways of knowing. Hi, welcome back to Ascend. This is episode 6, the fifth pillar of the Rise Up method, Uplift. We've done deep internal work so far. Thank you for staying with me through this journey of the Ascend with Claire Oliveros podcast. We've spent the first 5 episodes where we've discussed reclaiming our stories, igniting our purpose, learning to take time out to rest, and excavating our loss, grief, and what no longer serves us well. But here's the truth. Individual work, while it's necessary, isn't enough. Liberation and liberatory leadership and mindfulness are not only individual achievements, it's a collective practice. The Filipino concept of Bayanihan teaches this. Community is pulling together to uplift each other. We build bridges. That's what uplift is. We cannot do it alone, nor should we have to. Today, we're exploring uplift as an act of solidarity. The Bayanihan spirit is alive and well as we garner support for those impacted by the back-to-back disasters and destruction of the typhoons in the Philippines and the earthquake earlier this season. If you have the opportunity to give, please consider donating or volunteering. You can support NAFCON US and make contributions to support disaster response and relief, and also consider donating to your local food bank and support neighbors and families and individuals in need. I'll also include the details in the show notes. What is Uplift? Let's talk about it from a community perspective and a personal reflection. 5 months ago, I lost my position as college president when it ended abruptly without explanation. Of course, I was shocked, but not surprised. I was disappointed, but not defeated. Being forced out was actually freeing, liberating, and confirming. It confirmed 1, I'm not alone. 2, I lead differently. I was cared for during those early days by my spouse, more quality time with my son, and my extended family. They have served as my greatest safety net, and I'm so grateful and filled with gratitude for them. Another important gift was the collective care that emerged from friends, colleagues, and women of color and allies, both near and far, who reached out to check on me and to say also, I'm not alone. My community showed up when I was most down, offering time, support, space, job opportunities, and friendship over a cup of coffee, a friendly text, a meal, a conversation. In those early days and weeks, I felt surrounded by caring friends and family and colleagues. What also emerged was a wealth of resources and personal stories that were shared with me, like, this happened to me too, and the check-in of, how are you really doing today? This reminded me who I was in those moments when I had forgotten. That's uplift, the simple small acts of love and care and kindness that turn into big, significant waves of change in our communities. It's not rescuing, it's holding space, bearing witness, reminding each other of our power collectively. the power we have when we do things together, when we name injustices, when we share our stories of harm and healing, and when we move that into action toward creating a more just and loving community. And honestly, I couldn't have launched this podcast without the loving support from family and community catching me first. My success is only possible because of the collective care and encouragement. I want to talk about the difference between uplift versus saviorism. And some of us in higher ed are familiar with this, or in helping fields. Saviorism can be things like, I'm here to rescue you, or centering yourself as the hero, or creating the dependency, not empowerment. The difference is with uplift, it's how can I support what you're building? It's sharing resources and power and creating conditions for others to lead. Saviorism says things like, I'll lift you up to where I am. And uplift says, we rise together. And maybe you'll get somewhere I never imagined. And I'll celebrate you when you do. Uplift is reciprocal. We take turns caring for each other and carrying each other. That's collective. That's collective liberation. There's a Filipino concept you're probably familiar with. It's kapwa, a shared identity and shared inner self. The boundary between self and others isn't rigid. Your well-being and mine are interconnected. Kapwa is community, and I am in deep gratitude to have found a kapwa community in the mindfulness meditation space. Thanks to my good friend, Maylene Hamto. Dr. Hamto has been a consistent support and friendship over 20 years on the shared path of mindfulness meditation and spirituality. And in one of our last conversations, I was sharing with her my interest to create micro meditations called Ingat Ka that I share here on the podcast now. And Maylene said, do you know about the Kapwa Deep Refuge meditation group? And I said, no, I would love to join them. I have found a spiritual community that's Filipinx centered, and I'm in deep gratitude to my sister for helping me connect with the East Bay Meditation Center. I'll put their contact in the show notes, and also my friend Maylene Hamto's consulting practice. That is Kapwa, and that is Uplift. Western individualism teaches us pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and Kapwa teaches us there's no self without other. Uplift is the practice of kapwa. Your struggle is my struggle. Your victory is my victory. We rise together. I want to share 5 practices of uplift. 1, witness without fixing. Sometimes the most powerful uplift is just being present, not solving, just witnessing. I see you. I believe you. Ask, would you like support, or do you just need someone to listen? Number 2, share resources and access. Use your power to open those doors. If you have a platform, amplify others. If you're in a decision-making room, recommend someone who's been excluded or hasn't been invited yet. If you're an invited speaker and your area is overrepresented, share the stage with topics that are underrepresented. Uplift isn't generosity, it's redistributing power. Ask who's not in this room and who should be. 3, celebrate without competition. The systems teach us the scarcity model, that there's only room for one of us. But uplift is rooted in abundance. Your success doesn't diminish mine. We light a path together. We both shine. Celebrate each other genuinely. With Kapwa, their win is your win. There is room for all of us. Number 4, create space for healing. Not everyone is ready to rise all the time. Sometimes people need to rest, grieve, or be angry. Uplift says you don't have to be productive to deserve support. Create spaces where people can be whole, and that might include being broken sometimes. Number 5, build for the collective. Make decisions that benefit everyone. Advocate for policies that help all, not just you. Create systems for the most marginalized. that lifts everyone and build institutions that outlast you. The question shifts from how do I succeed to how do we succeed? That's collective and community care. You know what's beautiful about Uplift? It feels good. There's a warmth and a togetherness and a connection. That's joy. I'm in a mother's group chat with Filipina women entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. And when someone wins, whether it's a new contract, article, a firm, boundary set, we celebrate. We flood that chat with celebration. And then when we see each other, it's genuine joy. When one of us wins, we all win. Uplift isn't draining when rooted in abundance. It's energizing because lifting each other up reminds us we're not alone. And that reminder, that's everything. Uplift as leadership means reciprocal mentorship. Everyone is both a teacher and a learner. Collective success is a metric. How many doors did we open? Whose voices are now at the table? Succession is liberating and liberation, helping to build next generation leaders, creating systems that don't depend on one individual or you. That's powerful. Redistributing power, that flattens hierarchies. And it begs the question, who's impacted and are they in the room? Uplift as leadership also is solidarity across differences and embracing intersectional identities. This transforms leadership from individual heroes to collective people power, not through one charismatic leader, but through many voices and through community. Let's reflect. Just notice what comes up. When you are being uplifted, who has uplifted you? And have you thanked them? And when uplifting others, are you empowering or creating dependency? How do you know? What resources could you share? And for collective connection, do you think about just your success or collective success? And what barriers get in the way? What makes asking for help difficult? Where do you learn you have to do it alone? Let's reject those messages and let's embrace a kapwa practice. Is it time to reconnect with your kapwa and find or renew your community, especially in this season? Uplift is a practice, not a destination. We're all learning. Many of us, like me, learning as I go and learning together. If you've been trying to rise alone, you're not failing. You're just operating in a system that taught you this. The systems benefit when we are isolated and alone. Bayanihan, kapwa, collective care help us rise together. In this closing meditation, if it's safe to do so, place one hand on your heart. Deep breath in and release. Gently close your eyes. Now imagine community holding you, who've uplifted you. You've uplifted. Imagine. Repeat silently. I am held by community. We rise together. Breathe in connection. Breathe out isolation. Breathe in abundance. Breathe out scarcity. And one last breath. Breathe in. I am not alone. We rise together. Exhale. Ingat ka. Thank you for exploring the Uplift concept with me today. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the Olive Branch newsletter at www.drclaireoliveros.com and join me for the season finale, which will be focused on progress, our final pillar. How do we move forward with intention? Thank you for listening. Thank you for following. And if you feel so compelled to do so, send me a review. I'd love to hear from you. Ingat ka. Take good care.